Unexpected bombshell. Bills has new reinforcements at the negotiating table. Leave your like, subscribe, share, and let's go. The Buffalo Bills' 23-20 loss to the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football in Week 5 left much more than just another mark in the loss column. The defeat shed light on a host of ongoing issues that have plagued the team not only through the early stretch of the 2025 season but also dating back to last year. Turnovers and penalties once again proved costly, and while the defense faltered in key moments, it was the offense that drew the sharpest criticism. For a unit led by one of the league's premier quarterbacks in Josh Allen, the performance was considered the most disappointing of the season. Allen's box score did not look disastrous. He completed 22 of 31 passes for 253 yards and 2 touchdowns, alongside 1 interception and a lost fumble. Yet, the real story went beyond the numbers. Too often, Allen was forced to hold onto the ball, scanning the field and waiting for his receivers to break free from tight coverage. According to Next Gen Stats, Allen's average time to throw against New England was 3.27 seconds, his longest of the season and nearly half a second slower than his average across weeks 1 through 4, which sat at 2.84 seconds. That single stat tells a larger story. The Bills' pass catchers simply were not creating enough separation. This issue is not new. Dating back to last season, Buffalo's wide receivers have struggled against aggressive man coverage, and Week 5 was a glaring reminder of that deficiency. The Patriots entered the game already ranking 7th in the NFL in man coverage rate at 32.5% per Sharp Football Analysis, and they leaned into that strength against the Bills. The results spoke for themselves. Buffalo receivers failed to consistently win their matchups downfield, leaving Allen in compromised positions and stalling drives at critical junctures. The Bills had entered 2025 with hopes of fixing this weakness. Free agent signing Joshua Palmer was brought in with the expectation of offering more reliable separation ability, while second-year receiver Keon Coleman was seen as a candidate to make a sophomore leap and provide more downfield production. Yet through the first 5 weeks, neither development has materialized. Palmer has struggled to carve out an identity in the offense, and Coleman still looks raw against disciplined NFL cornerbacks. As a result, Buffalo finds itself ranked just 28th in target separation on passes of 20 or more yards, according to data compiled by Cover One's Anthony Prohaska. With the passing attack failing to make the necessary leap, the question looms: what can Buffalo do to fix its wide receiver problem? One potential answer may lie in the trade market, and specifically with a team the Bills know well, the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are sitting at 1-4, buried in salary cap struggles and widely rumored to be shopping veterans to reset their roster. 2 players in particular, Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, have drawn the attention of both media and fans as potential trade targets for the Bills. Adding either player could provide the exact spark Buffalo needs to re-energize its passing game. Shaheed is especially intriguing. At 27 years old, he is one of the league's most dynamic speed threats. His explosiveness with the ball in his hands has been on display this season, as he is averaging 13.1 yards per reception. Just this past week, he showcased his game-breaking ability with 4 receptions for 114 yards, including an 87-yard touchdown that sealed a Saints victory over the New York Giants. His ability to stretch defenses vertically and force secondaries to respect the deep ball is precisely the trait Buffalo has been missing. Olave, meanwhile, offers a different profile but no less intriguing. While his 2025 average sits at just 7.4 yards per catch, his first 3 seasons in the league were marked by consistent downfield production, with no fewer than 12.5 yards per reception in any of those campaigns. He is polished, reliable, and capable of beating coverage at multiple levels of the field. Adding him would give Josh Allen a trustworthy target who can win routes with sharp precision, something the Bills' offense currently lacks. Shaheed also brings added value as a return specialist, which makes him arguably the more complete target for Buffalo. Special teams have been another area of frustration for the Bills. Return man Brandon Codrington has been inactive the past 2 weeks, while Khalil Shakir has been inserted on punt returns and Curtis Samuel on kickoffs, neither of whom have generated much of an impact. Shaheed, by contrast, was one of the most dangerous punt returners in the league last season, averaging 15.9 yards per return on 9 opportunities. His addition would not only bolster the receiving core but also give Buffalo a reliable and explosive option on special teams, solving 2 problems at once. The big question, however, is whether the Saints would be willing to part with either player. Both are young, productive, and could be seen as core pieces for New Orleans' future. Yet given the financial bind the Saints face and their poor start to the season, a trade cannot be ruled out. For the Bills, it might be the kind of calculated gamble worth making. General Manager Brandon Beane has never shied away from bold moves. Just last season, Buffalo swung a trade for Amari Cooper, showing the organization's willingness to part with valuable draft capital in the pursuit of immediate improvement. While Cooper's impact was limited, the precedent has been set. The Bills' front office recognizes the urgency of maximizing their Super Bowl window. That urgency is even greater now. Josh Allen remains in his prime, but every year without a deep playoff run feels like a missed opportunity. The AFC remains a brutal conference, with contenders such as the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, and Miami Dolphins constantly raising the bar. If Buffalo hopes to keep pace, it cannot afford to enter the second half of the season with a stagnant passing attack. Trading for Olave or Shaheed would not come cheap. In Olave's case, the price would almost certainly include premium draft picks, given that he is still on his rookie contract and offers long-term upside as a true WR1. Shaheed, under contract until 2026, would also cost a significant haul, though perhaps less than Olave. Either way, it would represent a major investment in the present at the expense of the future. But that is the reality of where the Bills are. The team has already seen its window to contend narrow in recent years, and the AFC landscape will not get any easier. Standing pat and hoping the current receiving core finds its stride may prove costly. Buffalo needs players who can beat man coverage, open up vertical passing lanes, and allow Josh Allen to play to his strengths rather than forcing him to extend plays and take unnecessary hits. The loss to the Patriots highlighted all of these deficiencies in brutal fashion. It showed that, without immediate reinforcements, Buffalo's offense could once again fail to deliver in the moments that matter most. For Beane and the front office, the decision is clear: either take a swing at acquiring a difference maker or risk wasting another season of Josh Allen's prime. The trade deadline is approaching, and with it, an opportunity. Whether it is Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, or another surprise target, the Bills must explore every option to strengthen their wide receiver group. This is not just about adding talent, it is about sending a message to the locker room, the fan base, and the rest of the league that Buffalo is serious about contending. As the dust settles on their latest disappointment, one thing is undeniable: the Buffalo Bills can no longer afford to wait. The time to act is now. Thanks for watching and see you next time.